Welcome to my channel, The Three Mountains. My name is White Eagle. Today I would like to continue with Master Samael's lecture on liberation. I decided to start again because there are lots of esoteric symbols and meanings that it would be good if you know them and learn them. So we start with the first part and let's see how much we can do today in this video. The first part. Master Samael says that all of humanity is mechanicist 100%, and this is due to the satellite, the moon. But we can free ourselves from the mechanical life if we create a psychological moon inside us. And I found this picture, which I think is beautiful, because each one of us has to create his or her own psychological moon inside. Now let us continue. This is possible if we eliminate the heavy elements we carry in our interior, our egos. The created psychological moon inside us will give us continuity of purpose. Now we start with the second part. We then can progress even more and create a psychological solar system inside us. In order to do that, we descend to the ninth sphere to work with the sex, alchemy. Any creation inside is possible by means of the salt, the sulfur, and the mercury of the wise. This implies super efforts. How do we do this? With the artifice you already know. Connection of the lingam and yoni without the spilling of the ens semini. Inside the ens semini is the fire contained. Now the ens semini also comes from Latin, and it means the entity of semen. Yes, a term used by Paracelsus. Now, first, the mercury is black. The waters are black at the beginning when the Gnostic couple begin to work. It is represented with the black crow of the alchemy, because the alchemical waters are black, right? Alchemists, in a symbolic way, say that from inside these black waters, the white gelatin must be withdrawn. This means that the waters must be transformed into crystalline waters or in white waters. In the end, pure waters. That's the meaning. This is possible by refining the sacrament of Rome. That is to say, love, sex, alchemy. This means to whiten the crow or to whiten the waters. Then we receive the white tunic. This happened in Egyptian times. I think I already mentioned in one of my previous videos that my clothing changed in the astral. Yes, because that is the tunic of chastity, of white linen. Later on, the white crow was allegorized with the white dove of the Holy Spirit. Now, the sulfur is the holy fire mixed with the mercury and the sublimated salt that rises from the bottom of the hermetic glass. Here we have the god Mercury, right, that comes alive again. And this constitutes the vitriolo of the wise. We already dealt with this topic of vitriolo. Visit the interior of the earth, that by rectifying it, you will find the occult stone. The occult stone means the philosophical stone, and it means the Christos, the interior Christ in each one of us. Yes, each one of us has an interior Christ. Yes. With the mercury already prepared, we can create the superior existential bodies of the being. Now, Master Samael continues by saying that in one octave, yes, here he refers to the musical notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. And then we go on to the next scale, but starting again with a do, yeah? So such mercury is ready to create the astral body. So by this musical skate, he's symbolizing how the energy is rising note by note with our effort according to the merits of the heart, if we pass the tests thrown at us, yes? In a second octave, we can fabricate the mental body. In a third octave, it could create the causal body or body of conscious will. Once these bodies are created, we receive the spiritual anemic principles, Thus, we become men in the true meaning of the word. Up to here, we have the psychological system, the psychological solar system created inside us in miniature. This is the planetary man. Now we become a miniature solar system, microcosmic to be exact. Now, as long as one has not created the psychological solar system, one is not a man. One can believe oneself to be a man, but one is not. He or she is an intellectual animal, but not a true man. We have to put the cards on the table, says Master Samael, and speak the truth, no matter at what cost. Once one has created the psychological moon and the psychological solar system inside, if he or she wants to progress more along the path, one will have to define himself or herself for one of the two paths. Now, I spoke about two paths before, I think. And here, what do we have? I decided to put this painting, La Mona Lisa. Why? I want you to take a look. This is the painting, according to Master Samael. She is the Divine Mother of Leonardo da Vinci. And look what we have here at the back of her. Here she is basically asking you to choose which of the two paths will you choose. The spiral one, if you notice here behind her, yes, is going in a spiral one. Then there is water and then the woodland. Or on her other side, we have a dry path that leads straight, direct, and then mountains, no waters. That's the direct path, right? So let us continue, just a moment. So the first path is called the Nirvanic spiral path. And he says that it is a good work, the wet path or the spiral path. These are other names that Master Samael uses. And the second path is the direct path, the dry path that leads to the absolute. It is a superior work. Many people define themselves for the Nirvanic path or the spiral path. As the fruits or the results are less, then the sufferings are also less. Whoever wants to take the direct path, they suffer a lot more because the triumphs are more. Therefore, the pain is tremendously worse. And I can assure you about that. As regards myself, says Master Samael, I am a walker of the direct path, and the doctrine I teach is the direct one for those who want to go along the direct path. We go to the absolute, and we say goodbye at some point to the ones who choose the Nirvanic spiral path. And here I put my comment between parentheses that this is true. I had a friend for 10 years and I walked next to her until she chose the spiral path. That's when, sadly, we departed from each other. I continued my path towards the absolute because my being was commanding me, and she continued her road along the long spiral one. Now, I also want to point out that the spiral path does not finish in the absolute. I read that in one of Master Samael's book. Now we start with the third part. The advantage for us who follow the direct path is that we become solar men. That's when we fabricate a psychological sun inside us, here and now. Just a moment. Here we have the picture of the sun. How? By eliminating the dry mercury, that is to say the egos, and the arsenic sulfur, the perverted fire or negative sexual fire, also known as the fire from the atomic hells of man that comes from the Kunda Artiguador organ in us. Thus we fabricate gold. Our superior bodies are made up of sulfuric mercury plus sublimated salt. The antimonium is an autonomous conscious part of our own being. Our being has many self-conscious parts, and the antimonium is one. So the antimonium is the one that will attach the gold in the mercury, right? So this will process itself as long as we go eliminating the dry mercury in us. That is to say, we go killing the psychological aggregates or egos along the path. Thus, the antimonium will go attaching the gold in each one of the superior bodies. There comes a point when the astral body becomes of pure gold, very fine, the best gold. At this point, the serpent Kundalini, or the Divine Mother, swallows the astral body. To enjoy the power of the chakras, the requisite is to have been devoured by the serpent. After this work, there comes the work with the mental body. Many may progress up to the astral, but when they come to the point to work with the mind, they fail. Can you imagine, says Master Samael, what it takes to turn one's mind in a mind of gold into a divine mind? The mind is at most difficult, and to turn it to gold, yes, and it is true. Many reach up to here, and from here they do not pass. Now, here I put my own comment, because the Master does not say how he did it, but I will give you my own, from my own experience. And I put that sometimes what is good is bad, and what is bad is good. And there is a fine line that we must pass. We must go beyond the good and the bad. This Master Samael explained in another writing that, sometimes the good is bad and the bad is good. I gave you the key to pass this difficult stage in my previous videos. And I repeat here that if you are to pass here and continue to the absolute, you must shut your ears to people's advice. Close your eyes when your life will fall apart into pieces, because from my experience, this is what happened to me. And shut your mind to all reasoning. Hear only your intuition and obey, of course. In the astral, it is the guide dog that will lead you along the narrow path full of precipices at every step. Yes, if you do not obey your intuition here, you will fail. Now, you will feel alone, and you will be on your own, and you will be left on your own with your intuition. And your intuition will lead you and will get you through. Yes, remember my words here today, and you will thank me once you cross to the other side afterwards. Yes, so this is the key, important, if you are to really pass these tests here in the second mountain. Remember your intuition. Yes, and I put the picture of the precipice because this is there will be a narrow road, and if you just fail in one step, you can fall. And it is really that's how I felt. And I put a picture of the dog because it's only with your intuition that you will get through. Okay, and you will reach the third mountain, the other side, successfully. Now, Master Samael continues his lecture by saying that he became resolute in eliminating the dry mercury from his mind, and he managed it with supreme sacrifices and extreme efforts. Now, here I give you my comment again, that I'm sorry I cannot do anything about the pain that you will go through, but as I said again, at least make it worthwhile, and that if you are to go through the tests, I want to make sure that you reach the other side. That's why I put my comment here, from my own experience, what you have to do. Now, my comments. This is the most difficult part one has to get through, in my opinion, together with turning the causal body into gold. Yes? After it turned to gold, the mental body was swallowed by the serpent. This is Master Samael keeps saying. In a third octave, we must work with the causal body, another very painful stage, as I repeat again. We have dry mercury there that we must eliminate. It seems incredible that in the world of natural causes we have dry mercury, but we have it. This is very difficult because in the causal world, the psychological elements or egos are vinculated to our karma. That's the truth, right? Now, there are negotiations there to be able to eliminate such aggregates or egos. Our efforts are horribly beyond the normal, and there is a terrible repentance. We must wash our feet with the blood from our hearts. This is very serious, says the Master. And my comments? It is a horrible stage to go through. I remember I felt very guilty to the point of not wanting to exist anymore. And I can remember that I walked with a heavy heart, a guilty heart for a long time. Once we achieve the elimination of the psychic aggregates, then the gold has been completely attached and the serpent can swallow it. One is accepted in the world of natural causes as qualified adept and received in the temple of the causal world as qualified adept. Now, up to here, and I continue the fourth and fifth part in my next video. Just hang on, and it's coming soon. Thanks for watching.